White House trying to smooth things over after John Fetterman's debate disaster, but they might have just made matters worse. The media forced to admit that Fetterman's rocky performance has, quote, raised anxiety among Democrats, some of whom are on edge that it could sway undecided voters with only 12 days to go. But the candidate himself says, don't worry.
To be honest, doing that debate wasn't exactly easy. After that stroke, I got knocked down, but I got back up. And I'm going to fight for everyone in Pennsylvania, whoever got knocked down, that ever had to get back up.
And the White House and the media say, you got it all wrong. He's actually impressive.
In personal conversations that the president has had with the lieutenant governor, the president has found him to be impressive, incredibly bright and talented person who's just as capable as always to carry out his office.
Franklin Roosevelt and Winston Churchill had the good fortune to serve as the highest elected officials in their countries long before television news could cover their every move and long before Twitter could have people pumping out their instant reactions to their public appearances. The painful-to-watch reviews last night seemed oddly disconnected to this country's own experience with illness in elected office.
But behind the scenes, a hot mic just captured how Democrats really feel about Fetterman.
It looks like the debate didn't hurt us too much in Pennsylvania as of tonight, so that's good. And your replacement didn't work. We're picking up steam on that.
I don't know if you noticed, Greg, but the president, as Senator Chuck Schumer is saying, you know, it really didn't hurt us that much. The president is crossing his fingers like, let's hope so. They know it was a disaster.
Yeah, I would give my pinky toe to hear a conversation between Fetterman and Joe Biden.
Look at the fingers.
Would that
Watch
be
his fingers go
amazing?
up.
There you go.
Yep.
I don't know. He doesn't know where he is. But I think Joe just likes talking to him because it makes him feel smart. You know, Fetterman is now not just a Senate candidate. He is a hero. The Democrats are telling us he's a hero. I suggest they erect a statue of him in Philadelphia. And then in 10 years, when protesters remember that he's an old white guy who chased a black guy with a gun, they'll have to tear it down. So it's amazing how their stories just change over and over again. But imagine if the Republicans ran a stroke victim. How would that fly? Do you remember the heaps of ridicule Republicans got when they ran a TV host? So Dems doing this, after doing this, they can never criticize anyone ever again for being unfit for office because it's obvious he is unfit for office. And by pushing it forward, they will, of course, they'll have that argument again. But yes. No one should take it seriously.
You know, Jesse, a CNN analyst, a medical analyst, actually hit Fetterman for not disclosing the severity of the stroke. I think we have that sound.
You know, the campaign was opaque at the very beginning. They didn't really disclose the degree of his illness. We don't really know how sick he was. There is no sin in having a stroke. There's a lot of honor in the dogged determination that it takes to recover, and I admire that. What I don't admire is the way sort of the campaign has handled the disclosure of his illness.
Okay, so without the medical records, Jesse, there is no way to know whether or not Fetterman has had a subsequent stroke. The hiding of the medical records don't tell us how severe the stroke was. So there's got to be some reason for them to hide it. He says, hey, I had a stroke. What's to hide then?
Well, it's probably worse than they're letting on. And the people have been disrespected in the state of Pennsylvania, and it continues. Everyone has seen this, Judge. This has broken through the regular political landscape. If you're in Pennsylvania, you've probably seen it, you've heard about it, and if you're a regular person, all you think of is this guy can't listen and speak without the help of a machine. So the media thinks they're helping him by running these headlines that say Fetterman disability in the headline, Fetterman disability. And if you're a casual reader and you glance at that, you think Fetterman disability. And you made a great point the other day. He's not on crutches. You know, he's not losing an eye. This is a cognitive disability. He cannot process language and he could not speak the language effectively. So you know you're not sending a guy that's 100% to Washington to represent you. You have to acknowledge that. And if the White House doesn't at least acknowledge that this guy isn't 100%, you're taking us all for fools. You can still say, you know what? He suffered. He's in the recovery phase. We think he's a fighter, and he's still got what it takes. But to say this guy is great, he's the same as he ever was.
And you're ableist if you're concerned.
He's even better than he was before the stroke. That just means you're lying to us. And at this point, if you're a hyper-partisan Democrat in Pennsylvania, you're going to vote for Fetterman. But if you're a moderate Democrat, if you're a swing voter, there is no way you're voting for John Fetterman with a clear conscience.
Well, the problem is 650,000 people have already voted, Dana. And the truth is that, there are some people who are saying, that law needs to be changed. Until we get to hear from a candidate, we shouldn't allow that to be the case. And some are saying early voting, and some are saying that he should be disqualified.
Okay, so in Pennsylvania, you have 50 days of early voting.
Right.
I don't understand why in the world you need 50 days. But that's up to the Pennsylvanians to decide. And they should take a look at their law. Every state gets to decide. And I think that I brought it up yesterday that a reasonable request from the voters should be we should have at least one debate before there's early voting. And that would ensure that there were debates.
That's a good point.
Because they're like in Arizona, where Katie Hobbs won't debate Carrie Lake. And now maybe Katie Hobbs is looking at the Fetterman debate going, I guess that was a good decision, even though it's hurt her quite a bit in the polls and she's so far behind on Carrie Lake. I was going to bring up that I think part of this wasn't by accident. They wanted to bank as many early votes as they possibly could before people could see what was actually happening. So that is out there. The other thing I think is really unfortunate is remember that NBC reporter Dasha Burns, who did an interview with Fetterman, and she reports that in the small talk, she found that he had a hard time processing language, and she got ridiculed even by people at her own network. And it turns out some of those reporters who were going after her had done interviews with Fetterman, and they were like, "He's fine."
Yeah,
but guess what? They were using the closed captioning system. And that is not what Dasha Burns had when she was doing the small talk. That was her point, but they went after her anyway. That was wrong.
Yeah, Geraldo?
Let me say, I have three things to say, and I know that we don't have a lot of time, but I just want to say that I like Dr. Oz a lot. He and his wife, Lisa, wonderful people, always nice to me and Erica in the talk show business together. And not only that, he did Erica's Uncle Kenny's heart bypass. That's Dr. Oz. But people with disabilities have shown time and time again they can function. And listen to this. The Senate was once considered the world's greatest deliberative body. But I wonder how important are Herschel Walker's moral failings to Republicans? How important is Fetterman's cognitive impairment with Democrats? 26 times Kamala Harris has broken the tie. 51-50. It's all about party loyalty, talking about his cognitive this or that. For what? For shaking hands to the Harrisburg delegation that comes to visit his office in Washington,
It's not going to be 50-50 forever. This is a 6-year job.
Yep.
This is a job that requires discussion and understanding.
Does it really?
Cognitive
When all the Republicans always vote for Republicans?
No, they don't.
No,
They don't.
26
That's
times.
the problem with the Republicans. They don't always vote with
26
Republicans.
times Kamala Harris has broken the tie.
Yeah,
in the Senate.
but the biggest
truth.
accomplishment Biden goes out and talks about is the infrastructure bill, and he got 10 Republicans to vote for it. Geraldo, that doesn't work.
All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.